Permaseal is a pain in the ass, and today I'm going to show you guys how to separate your lens from your housing, and also how to clear out all the channels of the Permaseal the right way in detail, so that way you guys can complete your retrofit. Let's get it. All right, so now we're inside our handy dandy oven room, and what I'm going to do is put the headlight inside of the oven. Now, we've talked about it multiple times in videos, but I'm going to talk about it yet again. I always put headlights into the oven at 270 degrees, and I tend to leave it in there for about 7 minutes. I like doing a slow bake and doing my work more strategically. That way I don't burn anything, melt anything, and mess anything up. There are a couple of items that I use to help out that you can get on TheRetroFitSource.com, one being gloves. If you're going to be dealing with anything hot that's in the oven, you need to protect yourself. So we have Morimoto gloves that I'm going to use. Like I said, available on the website. Also available on the website are tools that you're going to use to help separate. So a lot of times people use flatheads, etc. I get a bigger surface area that I can work with and take off and separate the housing from the lens with this pry tool that we have. And then also this helps with separating the housing from the lens itself, as you'll see when, I open this thing up, and this is going to be clutch. If you're going to go ahead and do this to your headlight, please take care of yourself and do it the safe way. And why not invest in tools that you can use over and over again, just in case you decide to do something cool with another set of lights. You just never know. That being said, let's go ahead and get this in the oven. I'm going to set this to 270, and then I'm going to leave it in there for 7 minutes. Once it hits 7 minutes, I'm going to take off the tabs and attempt to break it loose, and using the pry tool, I'm going to move all along the side of the housing, trying to cause separation slowly. And then after creating that little bit of separation, I'm going to use this tool to pry it apart. Again, keep in mind that this is Permaseal and it cools down very quickly. You may have to put this back into the oven multiple times, or you can try to use a heat gun to keep it warm as you move along. Now, the reason why I went about the method of taking off the lens from the housing rather than cutting it is I wanted to show through my pain how you guys can do this for yourself. I would recommend just going ahead and cutting it, and which we can make another video on how to cut the lens properly, because that method is going to be a lot easier and a lot less time consuming than doing it this way. But if you want to have it exactly like how it came from factory and remove it and just put butyl at the end, then this is the video that's perfect for you. And I'm going to show you how to take out the Permaseal from the rest of the channels, because this is only half the fight. The real fight is going to be clearing this all out. So I don't feel like anyone who retrofits is excited to do these headlights ever. Like the Mopar guys, F-150 guys, you guys, man, I feel for you, but I guess let's get this started. The tools I'm going to use to take out the Permaseal from the channel is going to be probably a flathead. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but you'll see what I mean. And also a heat gun. If you want to stay by your oven and continuously put it in and out, you can continue to do that. But for the sake of video and watching me struggle even more, I'm going to show you guys the way that I'm going to do it, which is going to be slower. It's built to educate you guys. So yeah, again, through my pain is education. Yeah. So I have here my heat gun. I'm going to use this to warm up the channels. And then as I'm warming up the channels, I'm going to take a flathead and I'm going to try and pry up the Permaseal. And as it's pried up, I'll grab it and move it in multiple ways as you're pulling it. You don't want to just keep pulling it straight, because it's just going to keep breaking. So you'll see the technique that I use to kind of scoop up one end, and I'll get the other side up, and then just continuously tugging on it. And if you feel like it's sticking a little bit more than when you first heated it up, immediately just grab your heat gun, start heating it up again, because this stuff does cool down really fast. So let's get started. I'm just going to go ahead and warm up this whole side of the channel right now, and I'm going to focus on this section only. And also, as you're doing this, use your Morimoto gloves, because it makes it a lot easier to protect yourself. And also when you're dealing with hot items, this will help you out. And if you slip and hit yourself with the flathead, it's just way better to have some type of protection than using your bare hands. I already went ahead and started just a little bit here, so that way I can show you guys how this works. I'm going to take the heat gun, I warm it up. I do this for about a minute straight, because keep in mind the Permaseal cools really fast. So you really want to warm this up and get right into action. Though the process is a little bit slow, you can kind of already see how it's picking up all the Permaseal, both on the left side and the right side. So that's why I encourage trying to push it out in that method instead of pulling straight back, because this is going to have a cleaner outcome. And the point is to push back as much as possible. I'm going to keep encouraging it to come up and keep pushing it. So once I get a bigger piece, it kind of makes it easier to pull it back more, and it comes out a little bit smoother. But as you can see, it's already cooled down extremely fast. So now I have to get the heat gun and start doing this all over again. Keep in mind, if you were doing this with your oven, it's a lot easier because you have this already at the heat that you would want. I'm doing this with a heat gun just to show you on video, and it's making the process for me significantly longer, but if I had an oven, this would be a lot quicker. So as you can see, it's kind of coming off a little bit easier now that I have a little bit more to grab, but that doesn't mean to rush it. Be patient, because if this piece breaks, it's a lot more of a pain in the butt to get a new piece started. If this breaks, my fear is that it's going to fall back into the channel and then you're going to have to restart a small piece to get it going again. Work in small steps and just keep moving forward. Slow and steady is going to win the race. And as you can see, it already cooled down that fast. So now we have to get the heat gun again, warm it up, and you're essentially going to keep this process going until you get all the way around. I'm putting more force pulling this back, but at the same time, not enough to rip it. And I'm guiding the Permaseal where I want it to go with the Flathead. For someone who may be more new into retrofitting, this might be the technique that works best for you, but I encourage you to try other ways that might work. But if you guys have a way that worked better for you, and it's something I haven't brought up, then by all means, leave a comment down below because you might be saving a life. You'll be helping the next person retrofitting their set of light. So now you can see I got to the other side, and it's a little bit more of a struggle because, like I said earlier, if you let it cool down, then it's just going to start breaking. But we already have a lot of pieces and we got quite a bit of work done. We have from here all the way to here, and then we're done. I'm going to take one more glance over to make sure everything comes off, because when I put my Morimoto butyl on, I want to make sure that the lens seals properly without old Permaseal still on it. Like, if you have relationship issues, don't go to a therapist, just get you some Permaseal. And just like that, we're done. We got all the Permaseal out of the channels. Now, I make a lot of jokes making it seem like it's gonna take you a lifetime and a half to get it done, but it's not as bad as you think. Getting the lens off was a little bit difficult, and getting the Permaseal out of the channels, it's not that it's hard, it's just time consuming. And I feel like that's the theme of this whole project. Everything is time consuming when it comes down to Permaseal. Regardless, whatever you do, I encourage you guys to just dive in, give it a go, and just retrofit your lights. But leave in the comments what you guys think. I want anybody who's experienced Permaseal to leave their experience down below. Hit that like button, hit the bell so you get notifications when we post, and make sure to subscribe. I'm going to see you guys in the next video.